All right, another week, and this week we've got the proverbial pain in the ass. St. Louis Rams come to town, a team that has been the pain in the ass for the past several seasons for us. Luckily, that's more so in their house in St. Louis. When they come up here, they can still be a bit of a pain, but usually we do take care of them. However, this week, when the Seahawks will be hosting the St. Louis Rams, I'm having a tough time putting my finger on how I feel about this one. Rams are coming off a great win last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ending their playoff hopes essentially. It was their last game in St. Louis, so they showed up for their fans and played really well. And I don't know if that's going to carry over to this week. Obviously, they're not playing in front of their fans, but they do know that this is very well could be the second to last game they ever play while representing the city of St. Louis. So you wonder if they're going to bring a little extra into a game like this. And besides all that, this roster right now, we're in a bit of a weird spot right now. You know, the injury report this week, I kept sitting around on Friday hoping that it would come out a little better than I had seen, but not by very much. Just to go down the list of question marks that we're looking into that we're not going to probably know the full extent of until the game starts. Doug Baldwin missed practice Wednesday, Thursday with a hamstring. He practiced Friday, but he's still questionable. And I'm not getting a great feel for whether or not he's going to play or not. They say he probably will, but I didn't get a great feel for that. Russell Okung didn't practice all week, questionable. Cam Chancellor didn't practice all week, questionable. And when I see that they don't practice all week, that of course makes me think that they're not going to play. But those two guys, they've been around for a while and they know things pretty well, so you could plug them in without necessarily having them had practiced. But I know Cam still has to be in a lot of pain, and I know that Okung, with his injury history, might not want to risk it. So, you know, it's a little shaky right now with them. Jordan Hill, he's probably not going to play. Let's be real here. Let's just stick him in bubble wrap and hope he's back for the playoffs, in my opinion. And Michael Bennett, you figure he'll play because he did practice a bunch this week, but he's questionable too. And then you've got all the other little nagging things that are still kicking around. Cliff Averill, Jeremy Lane, Jermaine Kearse, Deshaun Shedd. They'll all play, but it would not take much to upset them just a little bit to where they couldn't play very effectively. So there's a lot of, warning flags coming out of this game for me right now. And we know why the Rams are the pain in the ass, the fly in the ointment. They've got a great front four. They know how to take advantage of less than stellar offensive lines. They get after the quarterback, and they make it really tough for this offense to function. So I know that they're not going to have their best player on defense, or second best, Robert Quinn. He's on injured reserve. He's not going to play, and that reduces their effectiveness considerably, and it reduces the pressure on the left tackle, be it Russell Okung or Alvin Bailey. So there's that. That's the good news. TJ McDonald, I think, is also going to be on injured reserve, or has been on injured reserve, and he's one of their starting defenders. So there's another strike against him. But other than that, they still got Aaron Donald, who's a guy who wreaked havoc on us in week one and could do so again, even though we have improved drastically on our offensive line. Still got Chris Long, still got Michael Brockers, still got James Laurinaitis. I don't know. There's a lot about this game that does alarm me a little bit. Good news is, if you look at the other side of the ball on their offense, they've got a Case Keenum starting this week, and I don't think very much of Nick Foles at all. I think he's a bad quarterback at this point, but I think he's an NFL quarterback. I don't really think that Case Keenum is an NFL quarterback. I think he's a guy who just hangs around just because, he's one of the 100 best quarterbacks in the world maybe, but he's a guy who we could beat up a little bit even without all of our guys, even if we are missing Cam and even if we are missing Jordan Hill. he's a guy who I don't take that seriously. If he beats us, I would still be surprised, even if we were missing some of our key players. So whatever ends up happening with some of these injuries, I still feel like we'll find a way to win this game, but it's probably going to be a low-scoring game. If Baldwin and Okung can't play, then it could be really tough for us to generate any kind of offense. So I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be completely shocked if we dropped this game just because of the situation that we're looking at, but my gut tells me it'll be a low-scoring game. And the way Russell Wilson is playing football right now, he just continually finds a way to make enough plays to get the job done over these past 5 weeks. He's been playing so well right now. To some degree, it almost feels like it doesn't even matter that much who everyone else is. As long as everybody else is semi-competent, Wilson takes you over the top. That's what he's been doing for the last few weeks now. And hopefully that'll be the difference maker. Little footnote here. Cason Williams got called up from the practice squad. So our wide receivers are made up of 3 undrafted free agents from the University of Washington. Jermaine Kearse, Kevin Smith, and now Cason Williams. So Russell Wilson is literally throwing to guys off the street. And they just so happen to be from just down the street playing at Husky Stadium. So kind of interesting. Can't wait for a few years from now when Myles Gaskin and Jadon Mickens are on the practice squad getting called up whenever people get hurt. So yeah, if Baldwin plays, I think we're good. If he doesn't play, it gets very dicey, but hopefully what we have is enough. I mean, we really, even though things have been going so good lately, it's still a delicate scenario. We don't have a very reliable running game right now, or at least we don't know what we have with our running game right now. Obviously, we're missing our best tight end. We cannot afford to lose these receivers, man. I mean, when I saw Doug Baldwin not practice on Wednesday and Thursday, I was like, how many more injuries can this offense take? So whatever happens, just please come out of it with no more injuries tomorrow. Even if you drop the game, it might not matter that much. You can still beat Arizona, and Minnesota will probably lose to Green Bay, but at the same time, of course, you don't want to depend on other teams. So that's what I got. See you guys tomorrow. I'll make my video after the game as always. And low scoring, but let's pull it out.